Hey guys, it's Multiplier. We're with Plugin Boutique looking at Complete Toy Museum from the guys at UVI. It's a really interesting set of sounds and instruments. What I thought I'd do in this video is show you 5 of my favourite sounds from the pack, and then also an interesting thing you can do with another one of these sounds that you wouldn't necessarily initially think of, but it's a nice idea. Basically what I'll do is make a percussive loop for a genre like techno using one of these toy sounds. But before we get into that, let me show you some of my favourite sounds. First of all, there's this orange keyboard thing called Orange Organ from 1978. And I love all that little noise you hear at the beginning and end of some of the notes. Just gives the whole thing a lot more personality and more character than if you just pull up any old thing from a synthesizer. It's really cool. On the more normal end of things, there's this ukulele sound that I particularly love. It's a pretty normal sound, but because it's recorded from this toy, there's a lot of character with every note. You hear all the string noise and stuff like that. It's fantastic. This one's pretty cool, check it out. So in this example, every note on the keyboard is a different sample, or in this case, a different word from this dictionary toy thing from 1981.
Aisle, anything, brought, carry, color, courage, dungeon, everyone, front, heaven, honey.
And this one is probably my favourite sound overall, even though it's definitely messy, it's just got so much character. It's this modular flute from the 60s or early 60s, 1960, in a kazoo configuration, so have a listen to this. It's so gritty and raw, but I love it. See how cool it sounds through a big reverb. And the final thing I want to show you before this percussive loop idea is this particular toy. I've no idea what it does or even what it's called. All I know is it's from 1957 and it sounds pretty cool. Again, chuck this through a reverb and it sounds amazing. Some great sounds there. Let me now show you how to take one of these sounds and turn it into a nice percussive loop. What I did is take this slightly unusual toy from the 1950s, this white cat with a weird shaker, and take the unusual transient-y sound from it and not look at it in terms of an instrument, but instead a sample that you could use for percussive stuff or a percussive rhythm. So those two sounds there, a shaker and then a transient. I also put a small room reverb on there so it sounds nice and techno-y. It's also velocity sensitive, so you can see I've programmed in different velocities for this particular MIDI loop, generating a nice percussive rhythm. So that's the shaker loop. What I could then do is maybe take that second more percussive transient-y sound and drop it in for the final 16th. And the reason I love this is because it's got so much detail and nuance, because it's taking a real life recorded sample and then making a percussive thing from it. So you don't have to program in any fancy delays or complicated modulations. It just has all that detail in there because the source material is so detailed and interesting. And that's the idea. Thanks for watching.